Hi, this is Putty here, and welcome back to another video. Today, as you probably guessed from the title, I am going to be discussing this. This is the scripts book for the play War Horse by Nick Stafford. It's based on the book by Michael Morpurgo. Now, I saw this in um, one of my local theatres last November. Sorry. It was completely socially distanced, and it was and everyone was wearing a mask, so that was all okay. But I really enjoyed watching this. It was honestly one of the most enjoyable experiences I've ever seen. And the play uses puppets, and these puppets are the horses themselves. Now, I saw a TED talk about from the designers of these puppets, Basil Jones and Adrian Kohler of Handspring Puppets in South Africa, and they made a horse puppets, and they were very realistic. And then I had a brainwave because that inspired me to make them in Lego. This is something that I've come across quite a lot. So if I really enjoy something, or I really like the design of something, then I try and make it in Lego. And I set myself a challenge, which was to make a horse into Lego. But this is the standard Lego horse, but I wanted it to be like the puppet. So I wanted to be able to fit a minifigure inside it. In fact, two minifigures like this, plus one at the heads. Now this this does sound complicated, doesn't it? But I had some inspiration from a previous model, mainly this. This is a Lego horse armor display that I made for a museum in one of my previous Lego towns, and I was very pleased with it. Because if you go to a museum of armor, then there will be a horse displayed like this, almost undoubtedly. And it's displayed as if there's a horse still inside it. So I was very pleased with how this model turned out. And it looks, and it's the same size as a horse, and still looks like a horse, doesn't it? And this got me thinking, can I turn this into something like this? Can I fit a minifigure inside it? And, well, I sort of succeeded. But it did take a little while. And, well, this is the fruits of my labour. So this is my version of Joey from War Horse. So originally, as I said, I was going to have two minifigures inside. That didn't quite work out, but and I did experiment quite a lot with how it was going to work. So I did. So I tried to sort of have these bracket pieces on the shoulders of the minifigures so that it would look as if they were sort of carrying the horse on the shoulders, as it is with the actual puppets. But I got inspiration actually from a Lego set, an official Lego set, which came out a few years ago, which was the Chinese lion dance set, and that included one of these bricks and minifigure legs on the underside, and that is where it came from, because that meant I could save money on pieces and have this horse be the same size as a normal Lego horse, as I shall demonstrate on here. So if I can find the horse, that is. Sorry, I'm making this up as I go along. Here we go. So yeah, exactly the same size as normal horse, almost. But I don't think that this is that bad at all. The one thing I've had to compromise on really is somebody sitting in it, and I couldn't really do that with two minifigures and someone and another minifigure in the middle, like it is with this. I did try, believe me, but I am happy with the results. I mean, it's definitely looks like a horse, and it's in roughly the same scale as a normal horse. I mean, it's a little bit out of proportion. I think the head is a bit too big, and the body might be a little bit too long. But I'm happy with the way it looks. I am really happy. So happy that I created four others. So I've got Topthorn here, and Coco and Heiny. I shall discuss those later. Um, but as you can see, I've got different coloured heads to the rest of the bodies. And the reason why is because this piece Lego made in a very select, in a sorry, not very many colours, and yeah, so they only made them in unusual colours because they were part of the Castle series, mainly Knight's Kingdom, I believe. But yeah, I sort of had to work from there back there. The tail for Joey is the same colour as the heads by happy coincidence. Lego don't produce this piece in brown, so Joey's colour scheme was basically this darker reds with the brown, and I added in these tan pieces because it sort of represents part of the woods that's made to make these puppets, but also it was the closest match I could find to the rest of the model. Top Thumb was relatively easy because nearly all these pieces coming black, apart from the heads, which was annoying. But I sort of kept that colour scheme and added these sort of dark blue to the back. With Coco and Tiny, as you can see, they've got these sort of light blue heads and the white tails. And this was, yeah, this was there was nothing I could do with that. Those were just the closest I could find. But as it says, I'm very, very happy with the result. And of course, we've got the minifigures in the dark orange here as well. And I like it overall, to be honest. And yeah, let's move on with some of the physical things in a minute. Now, in fact. So you have now seen the proper design, and then and of course I started buying the pieces, or just started looking for them, and I found one, two, three pieces in my collection, and I'm buying the rest fresh. But a few days ago, a bigger recorder came through, and this is what I've got of Joey at the moment. So I've got the headpiece with the bar attachment. I might change that out for something else, but as you saw in the model, that connects to it. This is the main body piece, which inspired, which was inspired by the Chinese dragon set, Chinese lion dance set, I should say. As I said earlier, that's the top, and this is where the tail attaches. So it needs a lot more bricks and pieces and things like that. But I have made more progress with some of the others. So this is my progress on Topthorn at the moment. It's upside down here. So the bars there, as you can see here. I said that these were sort of for added detail in my Lego model because the models the puppets sort of slope down like that and sort of slip upwards, so it's thinner at the back, and also you can attach chains and things like that so that you can make them look as if they're pulling a gun carriage or something like that, or a plough. But my original intention for these models was to have them look like they're rearing up. Because if you have a look on Google for for the photos and things like that. Sorry about that. Um, they can. Oh, for goodness sake. Never mind. Sorry. Um, uh, I've lost track of what I'm saying now. Oh yeah. Yeah. If you Google images for Warhorse, National Theatre's Warhorse, or if you have a look at the TED talk that I've linked in the description, there is a point where uh, the the puppeteers display the horses rearing up. Now, I wanted this to be recreated in Lego, so these bars were to essentially so that the minifigures could hold it up. This doesn't quite work out, however, because I discovered that there isn't enough clearance. So I suppose you could cheat it in a way and make them look as if they're holding onto it, but I'm quite happy with keeping these bits for added detail and to attach chains to or whatever. Anyway, that's his top thorn. This is one of the German horses. I think this one is going to be Coco, who has a prosthetic limb just here. And um, and this character plus Heine, I don't have all the pieces for Heine yet, but Coco and Heine I think are my two favourite characters in the whole play. And the reason why is because I think that these characters, more than any other character, demonstrate the horrors of war. And they really do, because Heine has got overgrown hooves, back hooves here, and Coco has got a prosthetic limb. And you you don't initially notice these when you see them on stage, but I when I was doing research and looking at these models, I came across the Bonhams website, the Bonhams auctioneers, and a few years ago they did a Warhorse charity auction, and that was a fantastic resource because it gave really good views of all the puppets. So yeah, there you go. Um, and when I say all the puppets, I mean all the puppets. It wasn't just these four horses. It was the goose. It was Joey as a foal. It was crows, and and other horses as well. So it was literally all of them. And so I think in the future I'll try and make this um, project into all the puppets. So I want to include Joey as a foal. I still need to work on that one. I want to build the goose. I want to build these crows, and also these cavalry horses as they're called. But they've also got little humanoid puppets standing on top, which is very nice. But it was very and yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. Anyway, yeah, thank you very, very much for watching. I shall be back next week with another video, going back to the regular unboxing reviews. But yeah, thank you for bearing with me, and thank you for allowing me to introduce these models. I shall be back later on this month with more updates, and yeah, I shall hopefully keep you abreast of what's happening. Oh, one more thing. I am still planning to finish the Hannibal Lecter series this year, and it should hopefully be a good one. Yeah, thank you very much.